And welcome back to the Arc Arena on the campus of Baruch. We have the second game of our doubleheader tonight, another conference matchup and a chance for Baruch to end their three-game losing skid alongside Jamal Chapman for the second game of our doubleheader. And Jamal, great opportunity for Baruch tonight to really right the ship and turn things back around after struggling, including losing to Lehman College by 16.
Yeah, it's definitely been a struggle for the Bearcats the past three games. You know, they're on a three-game losing streak, and they look tonight to come in here and win the game and to get back on the right track. So for tonight, we have a great matchup for you all. You have the Bloodhounds from John Jay College coming into the Arc Arena to face off against the Baruch Bearcats.
And the Bloodhounds themselves going 1-2 over their last three, going only 1-1 in conference play. And you're looking at, Anima Sean matching Ekabarn's the scoring output this year, but really seeing a variety of secondary scoring for the Bloodhounds.
No, definitely a lot of secondary scoring for the Bloodhounds. It's going to be very important for them to have a secondary scorer because as we have with the Bearcats, we have a lot of scorers on our end. We have William Sixsmith, who get hot from three. We have Andre Harris, who's definitely a double-digit scorer. So if the Bloodhounds want to be able to stay in this game today, they're going to have to come out and see some second production from bench players.
I think it's very important for Baruch really to start off early because coming in with three straight losses, albeit, in conference as well, definitely have to right the ship here before, the season that looked so promising at the beginning can really go awry.
Yeah, currently the Bearcats are fifth in the standings in the CUNYAC Conference, and if they definitely want to turn it around this season, they definitely have to get back in shape and play a good game tonight.
So we're about a minute away from tip-off here at the Arc Arena. You're watching Baruch Basketball Live, YouTube channel Baruch Bearcats. Jamal, what are some of the keys to the game tonight that Baruch really has to execute on in order to pull out the W against the Bloodhounds of John Jay?
Well, the Bearcats need to come out tonight aggressive and on the attack on the offensive end. So far, the past three games, they started off slow on the offensive end, and they always have to play catch-up. So that's one thing they can't afford to do tonight. Also, they need to limit turnovers on the offensive end. The last three games have plagued them early on with early turnovers that led them to slow starts and had them being able to crawl back into games late but not being able to pull it out. And also, they need some scoring from other role players. In their last win, we had William Sixsmith go off at from three-point range, but the last couple games, he's been looking for his shot and it just hasn't been there. So we look for a nice scoring from William Sixsmith, and when he scores and he shoots three-pointers, the Bearcats have a fair shot at winning.
And a lot of opportunity here. Granted, Baruch's right now fifth, trailing Brooklyn College by only a game. But a lot of action tonight on the men's side. Lehman's at Hunter. Medgar Evers is at City College. York is at Brooklyn. On top of this game featuring John Jay and Baruch here at the Arc Arena. We are moments away from tip-off. And let's go over some of the lineups now. At guard, number 5, Eshawn Epps Jr. from Bloomfield, New Jersey for the Bloodhounds. Also at the other guard, number 12, Luciano Cruz Fernandez Jr., Pembroke Pines, Florida. Starting at the forward, number 13, Kyle LaGuardia, 6'5", freshman from Smithtown, New Jersey. Starting at the other forward, number 24, sophomore Hakeem Animashan, forward 6'8" from Dedham, Mass. And finally, Doug Levy, forward 6'7" from Smithtown West as well. And Jamal, a lot of size on the John Jay team so far, with three guys starting at 6'5" or taller.
Yeah, definitely. We look forward to seeing a lot of size from the Bearcats to be able to match that, because the Bearcats have a lot of size on their end with over 3 players over 6'6". So we look to see if the Bearcats can match the height of the Bloodhounds here in the early goings.
And they're starting with a smaller lineup, actually, Baruch is, with only 2 bigs tonight. It's going to be William Sixsmith, and Anthony Gibbs in the backcourt, Bryler Page and Andre Harris at the forward position, and lastly, Chima Ekabar starting at center. And We are moments away. Tonight, the Bloodhounds are going to be wearing their road uniforms. They're dark blue with the white stripes, and Baruch's going to be wearing their home whites with the dark blue and light blue trim. But now we see the lineups. We see the size that John Jay is coming with. What problems can this present tonight, Jamal, for the Bearcats?
Well, it's going to cause a lot of problems when the Bearcats go up at the rim. You know, with all that length there, you're going to have a lot of rim protection for the Bloodhounds. But for the Bearcats, they may look to use their speed on the offensive end to get by the taller players from the Bloodhounds.
And we are moments away from tip-off. Baruch going to go left to right here in the opening half. It's going to be, I think, a Nemashon versus Ek-Ekabar. And it's nice being in the CUNYAC Conference. A lot of the players knowing each other as Ek-Ekabar and Anima Shawn. A little embrace here at half court with some smiles on their face. But it'll be all business once we get underway here at the Arc Arena.
Ain't nothing like some good sportsmanship, but you know once you get between them lines, it's time to go to work.
And we are underway here at the Arc Arena. Baruch win the tip, but Ek-Ekabar tips it quickly out of bounds. No one home there for the Bearcats, and John Jay will take over. Epps has it now in the backcourt. Trying to find LaGuardia, finds him in the post. And now LaGuardia drives, but he gets blocked by Ek-Ekabar at the rim. He got the feed from Cruz Hernandez, but now it's Gibbs into the front court. Nice crossover move, quick pace so far. Andre Harris, and one. Nice play there by Harris to get Epps in the air, and Epps flew across, hitting the floor really hard, and he's slow to get up. And that'll count as an and one, and it'll be sending Andre Harris to the line for the old school three-point play.
Good play to get it started by Chimi on the other end, getting the block, and good with the speed from Anthony Gibbs to push it up all the way up to the court. And Andre Harris being patient on the offensive end, going with the pump fake and getting that layup.
And Harris knocks down the second. So LaGuardia to inbound. Finds Levy, right back to LaGuardia. Looking for Epps early, but Gibbs all over him. Now Page on LaGuardia as LaGuardia brings the ball up. The foul's on number 2, Bryler Page. LaGuardia looking a little unsure, though, as he brings the ball up into the front court.
Baruch Bearcats are definitely putting on the pressure early on here with the full court press. But it's good to see Bryler Page back out there.
And John Jay to inbound right in front of the scorer's table. Epps has it now. He brings it over half court, covered by Gibbs. Gives it off to Cruz Fernandez. Looking for Levy up top. He finds him. And the ball really moving here on the offensive end for John Jay. Epps has it now. He drives. Gibbs. Floater over him, able to knock it down. Nice floater over Anthony Gibbs, who was tight on the defensive end.
Sean Epps on that play, using his height, being able to shoot over the 5'11" Anthony Gibbs.
Minute gone here in the game. Baruch lead 3-2. William Sixman now up to Ek-Ekabar. He brings out LaGuardia as that ball's on the floor, and Anima Shawn comes away with it. He looks for his options and finds Epps in the front court.
Tough turnover by the Bearcats. Need to limit those early on.
Now Cruz Fernandez has it now. Epps uses the pick by Levy, now tries to get it back to him. Instead, it's LaGuardia in the corner. And that's going to be a travel on Kyle LaGuardia, and it'll go back to Baruch. A couple early turnovers for both teams.
So far right now, John Jay has one, Baruch has one. It's a very early game, though.
In all fairness, I'll give Baruch a pass on that one. It was off the tip.
Right.
And it went right back to John Jay as Anthony Gibbs has it now for Baruch. Gives it up to Ek-Ekabar. Hand off to Page. Top of the key jumper is good, and it's nice to have Bryler Page back, missing a few games, just coming back last game against Lehman College.
Good for him to get going early and often. You know, the Baruch Bearcats definitely missed his production while he wasn't in the lineup.
A nice pass there by LaGuardia to Anima Shawn, finding position on Ek-Ekabar, and is able to finish at the rim. Now Gibbs brings it up. Bryler Page over to Harris. Back to Page. Picked by Ek-Ekabar. Page uses it. Ball's kicked, though, as the bounce pass was going back to Ek-Ekabar, and it's going to stay with Baruch as they inbound underneath.
Baruch is looking good here in the early going of this game on the offensive end, trying to set up their offense right now, and they're getting some quality looks.
And the ref's having a conversation with Cruz Fernandez and Sixsmith. And trying to find Sixsmith off the inbound. They do. Goes out to Ekabar, and I assume the heavy defense there by Cruz Fernandez was to prevent the three that's been accustomed for Baruch by Sixsmith on the inbounds.
Right, definitely. We've been reading the scouting report, and that's been his assignment so far tonight.
Ekabar off there for Baruch, and Anima Sean finding position on Ekabar. And it's going to be a foul on him. This foul will be on the floor, and it'll be John Jay's ball underneath. With 17:27 remaining, Baruch lead 5-4.
On those last two plays for the Bloodhounds, you see them definitely trying to exploit their size down low against the Bearcats here.
Eshin Epps to inbound. Gets the inbound. From LaGuardia, Nemashon finding position all night, but he gets off balance there, and his layup's no good. Ball's loose. LaGuardia out to Cruz Fernandez. His three around and out, no good. But Levy on the rebound. He's fouled, and the foul looks like it's going to be on number 4, Anthony Gibbs. And that'll send Doug Levy to the line, the sophomore from Smithtown, New York.
Bloodhounds are definitely utilizing their size now, and it's causing problems for the Bearcats as he couldn't come down with that rebound there.
Been very impressed with Hakeem Animashon's position so far in the early going, able to force Tumiak Ekabar away from the basket using his body.
Yeah, definitely, and also using his size. You know, he comes in at least has over 3 inches on him, so he's definitely able to just throw the ball over the top, and he just skies up for the ball, and then he has opportunity at an easy layup.
Levy knocks down the first, and you have to wonder how long Coach Alisi will keep maybe an Alan Villar or George Smith Jr. on the bench to combat the size that John Jay's be able to present tonight.
Definitely, if they start to go up in points and they start to exploit that, we may see an early sub.
And the foul's going to be on Cruz Fernandez, and he's playing up tight against Sixsmith, hugging him a little too closely. And we can see this being a nice matchup that's developed here in the early going.
You know, maybe Sixsmith doesn't get the ball a lot, but let's see if Cruz Fernandez could probably get into his head, and let's see if he can fight him off here.
And Sixsmith uses the pick, gives it off to Harris again, takes his time, but he's blocked by Animashon. Ball thrown off of Epps, but kept in bounds as Sixsmith has it now, and he travels. It's going to go back to Baruch. Nice play there by Andre Harris to keep the ball alive, right, throwing it off of Epps, and then able to pick up the loose ball himself in the corner there.
Yeah, a lot of times right there when Sixsmith gets that ball, you know, he's wide open for the three, but the Bloodhounds are definitely on him tonight.
Epps has it now left wing. Crossover move working on Gibbs. He circles back up top, and Epps working on Gibbs. And we've seen a couple of personal matchups in the early going between now Epps and Gibbs. And before that one, it was Cruz Fernandez and Sixsmith. So
right,
a couple of personal battles to see if that leads to anything, but it definitely leads to a tenacious game.
It's definitely looking like it's going to be a good one here as both teams close game. 6-5, Bloodhounds are up.
This would be a big win for John Jay. Only 1-4 in the conference. Baruch only a game better than that. So a real opportunity for seeding to get pushed around as Zach Ekabar comes away with the loose ball there. Goes straight into the lane, and he lays it in with the right hand. I think he was looking for a little contact, expecting a little contact right there, and yet to come. Levy has it now, gives it off to Epps.
But definitely a good coast-to-coast play by Ekabar, taking the ball all the way to the rim on that one.
And a nice play there by Harris to force the double team and get the ball out of Epps' hands. Now Epps will get it up top, and Gibbs will be defending. Epps up to LaGuardia. LaGuardia back to Epps. Looking for Animashon, who has some position on Ekabar. Gives it off to Cruz Fernandez. Back out to Epps. Straight away. Rebounded by Sixsmith. Up to Bryler Page. Gives it up to Andre Harris. Baruch moving it into the front court. Crossover move. Bryler Page. Straight away three. No good. Rebounded by Levy for John Jay. And a nice look there for Page.
Definitely a nice look, but a good play on the defensive end for the Bearcats to get the rebound and just push it up the court.
Eshin Epps now gives it to Levy. Deep three from Levy, no good. Rebounded. It looked like over the back there a little bit by Animashon. The ball's loose, though. It's LaGuardia on it. Gives it off to Epps. Nice play there by LaGuardia not to travel. And one. Oh, no, it's going to be an offensive foul. Excuse me. Bryler Page taken in the chest as Eshin Epps goes right into him, and it'll go back to Baruch.
Bryler Page giving up his body on that play. Not giving up on the Bearcats here in the early going. Getting it done on both ends.
And now Sixsmith will inbound. Baruch leads 7-6, coming in on 5 minutes gone here in the first half. And interesting, Animashawn now going to move outside to Gibbs, and Animashawn giving him about 8 inches on the offensive end.
That's going to be definitely a tough matchup. The Gibbs could definitely blow by him with that speed.
A nice move there by Ekekbar going over LaGuardia. No good, though, with the right hand. And Animashawn looking for the outlet pass to a newly checked in Jerome Petty. Epps has it now. And Levy's come to the bench for John Jay. Epps working on Gibbs. Gives it off to Cruz Fernandez, trying to find a Animashawn who's working on Ekekbar. And this could be a matchup we could see John Jay go through a lot tonight as the ball's tipped away, as the pass was going to LaGuardia. The ball's intercepted, and it looks like it's going to be Gibbs that comes away with it out of the scrum.
Good way on Anthony Gibbs there to keep his head up, poke his hand in there and get the steal, and slow it down on offense for the Bearcats.
Anthony Gibbs uses a pick left by Chima Ekekbar. Now Andre Harris up top, a little jab step. Hop step into the lane. He's blocked from behind. Ooh, Ekekbar gets it at point-blank range. Ain't able to finish, though. Gibbs comes away with the loose ball, and it's going to be a kick ball now on Eshin Epps, as it'll stay with Baruch on the far side. But a nice sequence of events there, Jamal. Unable to finish, though, with Ekekbar at the doorstep.
You know, the Bearcats are right there, right in position to be able to take advantage of the Bloodhounds on the offensive end. But that length of the Bloodhounds right now is definitely causing them problems.
Eric Pujols and Eric Sandoval Jr. both checking into the game for John Jay. Now Sixsmith has it up top. Bounce pass inside to Harris. Nice find there by William Sixsmith. Slick passing there.
Threading the needle on that play right there with a great pass to Andre Harris from William Sixsmith.
And now Pujols will bring it up. 5'10" freshman from Valley Stream, New York, out on Long Island. Sandoval has it inside. Coach Highland wants him to work on Ekekbar. He does, but it's a little too strong. And it's going to be an over-the-back foul, I believe, on number 10, Jerome Petty. Oh, it's going to be 2 hands in the back on the rebound, so that'll go back to Baruch. And very nice, we get to see the introduction of number 21, Matthew Grossman, the sophomore from Asquith, Australia. And I'm very interested because he brings size at 6'8", and we'll see what he could do in limited minutes this year so far.
Definitely going to see what he could produce for the Bearcats here tonight. We look forward to it.
Gibbs has it now. Now Sixsmith, straightaway 3. No good, a little short. Cruz Fernandez out on him on that shot. Nice defense there. And now Petty has it in that front court for John Jay. 13 minutes and 20 seconds left here in the first half. Now Sandoval outside to Petty, knocks down a 3. Nice shot there by Jerome Petty to tie it up. Baruch 9, John Jay 9. 7 minutes gone here in the first.
Tough play on the defensive end for the Bearcats. You know, they tried everything they can to close out and stay in front of the offensive player, but it just didn't work out.
Now Grossman has Sandoval on him, gives it out to Gibbs. Petty falls, handoff to Andre Harris. Nice right-handed layup to go around the defense of Sandoval. Petty, excuse me. Sorry, Jamal.
Andre Harris has definitely been finding getting great positioning down on the right block all game so far, getting some easy layups for the Bearcats here.
It's even nicer as Baruch's been able to find him when he's been that open.
Right.
Saw Sixsmith before, and that time it was Gibbs himself. So, and now Cruz Fernandez double teamed by Sixsmith and Harris, but a 3 there by Pujols, no good. Rebound is loose, and it's going to be an offensive foul, loose ball foul, excuse me. It's going to be on number 12, Luciano Cruz Fernandez.
Cruz Fernandez tonight has definitely been trying to put a lot of high pressure not only to William Sixsmith, but to Andre Harris on that play. But Andre Harris had the positioning, was able to draw the foul, and the ball go back to the Bearcats.
And Jordan Aiken quickly in for Cruz Fernandez, and that's very interesting because, you know, Cruz Fernandez has played that tight defense so far on Sixsmith.
Definitely, and he's only limited him to putting up 1 3-pointer.
Now Jack Sixsmith's come in the game too. Grossman almost loses the ball. He's trying to work in the post. Gives it off to Dwayne Bridey, who also just recently checked into the game. Jack Sixsmith now into Andre Harris. He's working on LaGuardia, backing him down. Looking for the jumper. Bounce pass out to Sixsmith. Driving, gets his shot blocked though. Sandoval saves it from going out of bounds, and now it'll be Aiken into the front court for John Jay. Sixsmith smart not to foul. Gives it outside to Sandoval. Outside to Aiken. Aiken's 3. Knocks it down. Nice shot there by Jordan Aiken. And that gives John Jay their first lead of the night, 12-11.
The Bloodhounds took advantage of the Bearcats on that play. Couldn't get quite set on defense on that one.
And now Jack Sixsmith has it up top, gives it off to Harris. He's working on LaGuardia. And that's going to be a reach on LaGuardia. There's going to be some subs as Doug Levy and Hakeem Animashon both have checked back into the game for John Jay. For Baruch Grossman, quick to come out. And Ekabar is back in. Now Jack Sixsmith has it now. Bounce pass to George Smith Jr. is no good. And it's going to go back to John Jay. A costly turnover there. That marks Baruch's fourth turnover of the game.
Yeah, tough turnover right there, and that definitely could slow down your offensive momentum. But let's see if the Bearcats can salvage this play on the defensive end.
So Pujols gives it off to Aiken. Now Levy gives it back to Pujols. Looking for Animashon, who's working on George Smith Jr. George Smith, though, good size against Animashon, disrupting his shot, but nice floater there. That drops for Animashon after a couple bounces off that rim. 11 minutes remaining here in the first half.
Yeah, George Smith Jr. with great defense on that play. It's all you could have really done right there.
Now Ekabar has it up top. Receives the pass from Jack Sixsmith. A couple crossovers working on Animashon. Now he backs his way down into the post, gives it outside to Sixsmith, puts it on the floor, one dribble outside to his brother William. Deep three, doesn't hit anything. And Baruch's third three-pointer goes like the rest and does not hit. 0 for 3 so far from deep.
It's tough William Sixsmith right now because the Bearcats definitely need to get him going. When he's shooting the three-pointer, it just allows the rest of the offense to open up so they could do more other things.
Eric Pujols has it now. Gives it off to Levy up top. Aiken, right wing. Covered by Sixsmith. Looking for Animashon, though. Instead, he decides to drive. Back outside to Pujols. Now Petty, straightaway three. Right wing. And Jack Sixsmith comes away with the rebound, and he's quick to push it into the offensive end. And he'll slow it up. And we've seen last few games, Jack Sixsmith, very nice facilitator at the offensive end as Zach Ekabar is fouled on the floor.
Definitely we have seen some great play by Jack Sixsmith. Definitely if he doesn't put in the offensive possessions and score, he's definitely going to go ahead and get you some assists. He definitely knows how to find the different players on the court.
And this is going to send Ekabar to the line for a 1-and-1. Already Baruch forcing John Jay into that bonus, and Baruch will have the pleasure of shooting free throws for the rest of the half. 10:01 on the clock here in the first half at the Arc Arena.
If it's one thing Baruch definitely does throughout a lot of their games, they definitely get their team that they're facing into the penalty early.
And Ekabar knocks down the first. And Eshin Epps has come back into the game for John Jay. Jordan Aiken takes a seat. Bryler Page as well back into the game with William Sixsmith coming to the bench. Ekabar knocks down the second. And it's nice to see Baruch already in that have a shot at getting free throws by putting John Jay in the bonus as they come out with the full court trap here. And now Pujols has it in the front court for John Jay. Eshin Epps has it now right wing, covered by Sixsmith. Crossover move, gives it off to Pujols, finds Animashon inside. That ball's tipped around. However, Levy gets away with it, puts it up, no good. Jack Sixsmith comes away with the loose ball, push it into the front court for Ekabar, who's able to throw it down with the right hand. Chima Ekabar and Baruch quickly to set up on the defensive end.
Great entry pass over there to Ekabar, was able to go all the way up for the slam on that one.
Once again, Jack Sixsmith leading the break there and able to find Ekabar just in front of the pack.
Definitely knows how to get hit, know how to find his teammates on the offensive end.
And now Bryler Page to inbound to Jack Sixsmith. Jack Sixsmith averaging 21 minutes a game, but also 3 assists a game, really facilitating at the offensive end. Ekabar now has it in the block, working on Animashon. Gives it out to Sixsmith. He'll drive baseline, looking for options. Gives it back to Ekabar, who replaced Sixsmith in the same spot. Left corner three, able to knock it down. Nice find there. as we said again, by Jack Sixsmith. Back-to-back assist to Ek-Ekabar as Eshin Epps now really trapped in the backcourt. Ooh, dangerous pass to Sandoval, tipped away. And nice play there by Levy on the offensive end for an and one.
That was a tough play. But let's go back to that three-pointer. Ek-Ekabar with the high arcing three-point shot that was set up by Jack Sixsmith, already coming into this game and making his presence be felt.
And now Doug Levy at the line for the old school three-point play. Nice play there. Well, he got whacked hard by number 22, George Smith Jr., who did all he could to make sure that shot did not go up, but Levy able to convert there and cut the lead to 1. 18-17, 8:40 remaining here in the first half.
Yeah, that was definitely the Bloodhounds on that play getting past that pressure that the Bearcats was putting on them.
Now Jack Sixsmith quickly swung around to Bridie. George Smith Jr. gets it over to Bridie, back up top to Sixsmith, bounce pass to Ek-Ekabar. He thinks about the three, instead gets LaGuardia off his toes. Gives it to Dwayne Bridie, corner three, able to rattle it around. Nice shot there by Dwayne Bridie to extend the lead 21-17, and Baruch keeping up the pressure here on the defensive end.
Bearcats missed their first three three-pointers from the field, but definitely hit the last two.
And Epps forced to throw that ball into the front court because of the 10-second violation. George Smith Jr. playing safety right there, able to pick it off and give Baruch another possession. The 8th turnover there for John Jay. George Smith now has it up top, gives it off to Jack Sixsmith. Drives, bounce pass into Ek-Ekabar. Nice find there by Jack Sixsmith, and in 3 consecutive possessions, 3 consecutive assists for Jack Sixsmith, and that'll force Coach Highland into a timeout with Baruch going on a little bit of a run. With 7:43 remaining, Baruch 23, John Jay 17. You're watching Baruch Basketball on YouTube channel, Baruch Bearcats. Jamal, nice stretch here by Baruch, really going on a little bit of run of late.
Definitely a great run, and it started all with Ek-Ekabar with that slam dunk that he had about a few minutes ago, followed by the three from Ek-Ekabar, and also another three by Dwayne Bridie, and then followed from that feed from Jack Sixsmith inside to Ek-Ekabar for the layup. And Jack Sixsmith was involved in those last 3 shots for Ek-Ekabar, which was great.
Baruch right now are currently on a 12-3 run. Only Doug Levy splitting up the 7-5 run to a 7 and a 5-point run that Baruch has been able to go on. So Baruch, they really put themselves in a position with a lead. After John Jay initially took their first lead of the night, Eshin Epps has it now, and over to LaGuardia, who will bring it into the front court. But Baruch's defense very active here midway through the first half. And just as we say that, Jack Sixsmith quick to force the turnover. Ek-Ekabar's running, gives it off to Sixsmith, finds his brother William in the corner. William's going to drive, looks for options, gives it off to Ek-Ekabar. Step back three, no good. Rebound long, Anima Sean. And now Salvador has it. Nice play there. Sandoval, excuse me, my apologies. Eric Sandoval able to find Hakeem Animashawn inside. Excuse me, Eshin Epps, my apologies. Now William Sixsmith, straight away three. No good. Really hasn't found a rhythm in the early going. Sixsmith now 0 for 3 from the field, including all 3 from downtown. Now Eshin Epps, free throw line jumper, no good. But Kyle LaGuardia comes away with the rebound. Doug Levy has it up top. Epps quickly swung around to LaGuardia. Ek-Ekabar out on him. Epps back to LaGuardia. It's been a 2-man game right now. Now into Sandoval, and that ball's tipped away as Sandoval is trying to find Animashawn even farther in the post, and Ek-Ekabar comes away with the steal.
The Bloodhounds definitely trying to use their passing on that play, slow it down for the Bearcats.
And that'll be a timeout for Coach Alisi and his Bearcats. So with 6 minutes and 10 seconds left, it's going to be a full timeout. You're watching Baruch Basketball on YouTube channel, Baruch Athletic Fan, and Alan Villar just came to the bench to check in, and I think his size is something that the Baruch Bearcats are looking for right now. Definitely
got to have to take advantage and match the size of the Bloodhounds because they're killing them on the boards right now. The Bloodhounds are out rebounding the Bearcats by 6. So you could definitely utilize a lot of size down low to help you get some boards.
And what a game so far by Ekekabar. You know, we've seen his scoring drop a little bit, I'd say, in the last week or two, but already coming out with 11 points here in the first 14 minutes of action.
Yeah, definitely on those last couple of plays. He's definitely setting the tone and being very aggressive on the offensive end. And we have Andre Harris right behind them, you know, shooting 3 for 5 from the field and 7 points, getting some early, easy buckets down in the paint.
So Baruch 9 of 17 so far in the early going, shooting very above respectable 53% from the field. However, they're letting John Jay shoot 44% from the field, led by Anima Shawn and Levy, both 5 and 4 points. And Eshin Epps late in the last few minutes here has really been able to find the scoring touch, adding 4 himself.
Yeah, the Bloodhounds definitely are spreading around the ball, and they have quite a few people scoring here. You know, the Bearcats going to have to find out who's going to provide some added punch from getting some key role players involved, like Dwayne Bridey, Bryler Page.
So Baruch going with a real tall lineup right now, one of their tallest, with George Smith Jr. and Alan Villar both coming in at over 6'6". Sixsmith gives it inside to Villar, going up against 2 guys. No good, though, but like we said, George Smith Jr. able to fight for that loose ball, that rebound, and he'll go off John Jay last. And the size really helping there, pick up Alan Villar's miss.
Right. It's definitely something that the Bearcats were lacking in a couple minutes ago while they were out there on the court.
And now bounce pass into Sixsmith, goes off Eshin Epps, and it'll stay with Baruch underneath.
That length of Eshin Epps at 6'2", it's definitely bothering Jack Sixsmith as he's trying to get this ball inbound.
And the refs having a words with some of the players inside the block there. Some banging around going on before the inbounds. But Baruch now look for options as Jack Sixsmith inbounds to George Smith Jr. Gives it off to Bryler Page. He's covered by Petty. Takes the pick by George Smith. Instead, everyone clears out, and Bryler Page able to take the jumper, but the rebound by Eshin Epps as the jumper's no good. And John Jay will move into the front court. Gives it off to LaGuardia. Now in the corner, it's Cruz Fernandez. Back in the game with his 2 fouls. And nice rip away there by Bryler Page. Gives it off to Sixsmith from the seat of his pants over to George Smith Jr. And he looked like he might have been fouled from behind, but they're going to say it was clean as Kyle LaGuardia chased him down. Now Epps over to number 22, Eric Sandoval Jr.
It's a tough sequence right there for the Bearcats as George Smith Jr. was blocked on that play.
Now Jack Sixsmith has it for Baruch. 5:10 remaining. Baruch lead 23-21. Alan Villar into the paint. Nice move. Can't finish, though, right at the rim, but George Smith Jr. comes away with the rebound. And they're going to say the ball never hit the rim, so they're going to have to reset the shot clock. Interesting call, actually. They haven't reset the shot clock yet. And now Andre Harris and Anthony Gibbs have checked back into the game.
Mike makes you wonder what was the call.
Now Villar gives it off to Gibbs, hand off to Sixsmith, working on Cruz Fernandez. We've seen this matchup early, and now it's going to be Cruz Fernandez's 3rd foul. And very limited touching there. Probably a better angle from it on the far side of the court. However, that's going to force probably Cruz Fernandez back onto the bench, even though he's been playing some excellent defense and holding Sixsmith at bay tonight. 0 for 3 from the field is Sixsmith.
Definitely playing a lot of defense. When you get 3 early fouls and you only 2 away from getting it kicked out the game, it's definitely not what you want to be able to provide for your team.
Especially when they need you in the second half as Sixsmith knocks down the first. And Baruch's first free throws since over 5 minutes ago when they were put into the bonus at 10:03 remaining here in the first half. It is now 4:54. Baruch lead 25-21 as Sixsmith knocks down the second.
That's definitely good for Sixsmith. You know, definitely he's 0 for 3 from the three-pointer tonight, but definitely able to knock down those 2 free throws. Let's see if that gets him going.
Dangerous inbound there by LaGuardia as that ball's almost tipped out of the hands of Levy. But Eshin Epps is able to bring it into the front court. The defense has been ferocious. 3-pointer there by Levy's no good. Rebounded by LaGuardia is tipped away. It's loose, and it's going to go back to Baruch.
John, he hit him on the shot. He ran through his arm.
Good play over there by Alan Villar to poke his hand in there to knock away the ball. Bloodhounds couldn't track it down. They went sliding out of bounds.
Coach Highland wanted a foul call there on Andre Harris when he was contested the 3 by Doug Levy. He might have a point there as it seemed like there was some brief contact.
Like you said a minute ago, it's all about those angles. If the ref can't see it, calls don't get made.
Anthony Gibbs now takes the pick from Villar, gives it back out to Villar. Villar's free throw line jumper, no good, and Villar waiting to get his bucket to drop. 0 for 3 from the field so far.
Definitely came out here being very aggressive.
And now Ekabar quick to the bench. You'd have to assume maybe for a little bit more of an offensive punch, as Villar has not been able to give you anything so far here in his early minutes. And now Epps has it, working on Gibbs. 4 minutes to go here in the first. Looking for LaGuardia, doesn't take the pick left though. Instead, Epps drives, free throw line jumper around and out over. Great defense there by Gibbs, but Epps still able to get his jumper off. Does not hit as now Gibbs sets it up for Baruch in the front court. And now Gibbs has it. Gives it over to Bryler Page. Corner three, able to knock it down. Nice penetration and kick out from Anthony Gibbs.
You know, that's kind of that's the Bearcats' bread and butter. You know, they drive into the paint, find the three-point shooters open, kick it out, get the three-pointer to fall down.
Gibbs only 1 assist tonight, as we've seen him facilitate a little bit more in some of the last few weeks. As the ball goes off Baruch last, looks like it's going to be off Gibbs' hand as he was competing with Doug Levy for that entry pass. Anima Sean in as well as Jordan Aiken. So we'll see what they can provide here with 3:16 remaining. Baruch lead 28-21.
It's interesting. The Bloodhounds have moved away from a lot of the size they had coming out the gate, and they went to a smaller lineup.
Nice play there by LaGuardia. Gets straight to the rim. Yeah, Jamal, I agree with you. They have not really tried to find Anima Sean in the paint as much as and Levy for some parts of this game, as much as they have maybe in the first 5 to 7 minutes of this one. 3 minutes to go here. Gibbs has it in the front court, gives it off to Harris. Coming around a Six-Smith screen, bounce pass over to Gibbs, looking for Harris in the post. Instead takes the Ekabar's screen. Nice play there. Bryler Page's shot, blocked though, and it'll stay with Baruch underneath with 12 seconds left on the shot clock, 2:47 on the game.
Although it's a block shot, you got to love the movement by the Bearcats right now. They're definitely cutting, and they're able to find the open man with Anthony Gibbs connecting with Bryler Page, although it didn't go down.
Andre Harris now has it. Nice spin move there. Step back jumper, bounces around and drops. Andre Harris, that gives him 9 points tonight on 4 of 6 shooting. A nice shooting field goal game for Harris. Ball's tipped away there by Andre Harris just as we speak of the Devil. Loose ball. Fought for on the ground. It's going to be between. It's going to be a jump ball. It looks like it was Six-Smith and Aiken, the last two to get their hands on the ball. And Coach Highland wants an explanation. He's saying the ball went out of bounds in the previous.
Look, trying to figure out what's going on there.
And Ekabar to inbound with 25 remaining.
Does not seem to like the explanation there.
And everyone trying to figure out what's going on. Coach Highland has some questions. Coach Alisi has some questions. And finally, Ekabar will inbound Harris with 25 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Gibbs has it now left wing, looking for Ekabar on the post. Instead, he takes a dribble and pulls up. Around and out, no good, as Anima Sean comes away with the rebound for John Jay. Ashton Epps will have it, brings it into the front court. And now LaGuardia, he's covered tightly by Andre Harris.
Andre Harris getting up on him on that play.
Now straightaway three from Petty. Nice catch and shoot opportunity, and that'll not drop. 30-26 with 1:50 remaining here in the first half. Baruch's 7-point lead getting cut into.
Petty has definitely come off the bench here, made his presence be felt with 2 3-pointers in the game.
And now Harris has it, trying to drive on Anima Sean Canto. Instead, Gibbs takes the pick from Harris. He gets into the baseline, gives it outside to Harris. Anthony Gibbs, bounce pass into Ekabar, fadeaway jumper, no good. Rebounded, overran by Harris, and it'll go to LaGuardia with Ashton Epps now bringing the ball into the front court. Jordan Aiken now trying to drive on Six-Smith. Almost loses the ball there.
Sixsmith not letting them breathe, though.
Pass to Nemeshon goes all the way through now to LaGuardia. 3-point ball, no good. Rebounded by Sixsmith.
Here in this final minute, the Bearcats definitely want to get a couple buckets here.
52 seconds remaining here. Baruch lead 30-26. And now handoff to Andre Harris. Looked like he almost took the ball out of Bryla Page's hands. A little miscommunication there as Ekabar tried to get rid of it. And Ekabar has it now, covered by LaGuardia. And they're going to say the basket doesn't count. That's very interesting because it looked like Ekabar only took 1 or 2 steps after it, thinking that the ball was going to drop. Nice move there, but that's going to send Ekabar to the line for a 1-and-1 and an opportunity for Baruch to extend the lead to 6.
You know, it's always frustrating when you feel like you're in the sequence, you're going all the way to the rim, you get it to drop, and it's waved off.
And Coach Highland went for more size over speed as Eric Pools comes back to the bench as he was waiting to check in Doug Levy into the game with his 6'8" frame.
Talk about size. You got 6'4", Petty out there. You got a Nemeshon, 6'8".
Levy's out there at 6'7". So you're definitely bringing some size, and even Epps for a point guard at 6'2", definitely carrying some size with him as well. And LaGuardia not bad at 6'5", so a nice, well-rounded team.
And interesting too, Jack Sixsmith just walked back to the scorer's table and they're going to check in. He's definitely been facilitating ever since he's got into the game so far.
And Anthony Gibbs coming out of the game. Jack Sixsmith working really well in his last stint on the court with Ekabar finding assists in 3 out of 4 possessions for Baruch. Now nice crossover move by Epps. Epps working between the double team of Sixsmith and Page. Gives it off to Petty in the corner. His shot no good. Rebounded by Levy. His shot also no good as Sixsmith comes away with the rebound. William Sixsmith, that is, for Baruch. He gives it off to his brother Jack, and Baruch can actually hold for the final shot with only 15 seconds remaining here on the game clock.
Oh, man.
And a horrible call there by the refs.
Tough call. Very tough call right there. The Bloodhounds are doing all they can to stifle William Sixsmith and not get him going at all tonight.
And Coach Alisi wants a word, and I would want one too. I think that was a horrible call by the far side official. It was just two guys both pushing and trying to find position. And I think he was also waiting for Sixsmith to say something else to give him a technical, which is a little unethical, I think, because you can't be just, waiting for the technical, because you saw him walk over to Sixsmith as Sixsmith was going back down the court.
Right.
Very interesting.
No, it's definitely very interesting. You don't want to put yourself in that position as a ref, to be criticized and stuff like that. But also for Sixsmith, very good as a veteran knowing just to walk away.
2.7 seconds left. Levy gets the inbound. Gets Harris in the air. Levy's jumper, no good, around and out, and that'll do it for the first half. John Jay 26, Baruch 32. You're watching Baruch Basketball on YouTube channel, Baruch Athletic Fan, and Jamal. A nice first half, back and forth, and great opportunity for Baruch still to get a W in this one, leading 32-26 at half.
Talk about a great half for the Bearcats so far. Limiting turnovers, only 5 turnovers in the first half, making the most of every offensive possession. Tonight, you have Ekabar with 13 points, 3 assists, followed by Andre Harris with 9 points, and also with Bryla Page with 5 points and 3 rebounds.
Yeah, and we always say that where's the help going to come from for Ekabar? Tonight, Andre Harris put in the starting lineup, having a great game. 9 points on 4 of 6 shooting.
Definitely has been a spark. He's always been known to come off the bench, but ever since he's been inserted to the starting lineup, it's become a very effective option for Coach Alisi out there on the floor.
Yeah, and he's been a transfer from Suffolk community, but he's been a great player so far for this season for Baruch. Really been able to facilitate in the offensive end, and we've seen him we've talked to him earlier in the season, really seen him have an opportunity to get to some of his core moves. We saw the step-back jumper on a couple of occasions here in the first half.
Definitely utilized that there tonight, and also found himself in the paint for some open passes and getting some easy layups.
And speaking of Andre Harris, we had a chance to sit down with him this last month during the winter break in order to talk to him a little bit. And this is what he had to say when speaking to our Jamal Chapman.
Alongside with me today is Andre Harris, forward for the Baruch Bearcats. How you doing today, Andre?
I'm pretty good. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thanks for joining us today.
No problem.
So let's get started with it. Now coming into the season, the Baruch Bearcats are 4-4. How have you been liking the early play of the team this season?
Well, we had a couple of up and down games, and I mean, it really just starts in practice, and we have a couple of veteran guys who know the system. So it's just about really just sticking with coaches telling us and playing hard. Like, we took a couple of tough losses to teams outside of our conference. So once we get into conference play and we start getting the ball rolling, I think we'll be fine. We're not really worried about the record that much right now.
Yeah, I know. With conference play, you guys are currently 2-0, so that must feel good. You know, it's unfortunate you dropped the first couple games, you know, outside of the conference, but that must be a good feeling for you guys.
Yeah, no, it definitely feels good.
Yeah, now coming over, you came over from Suffolk Community College. What was the transition been like, and also the level of competition that you've been seeing over here at Baruch?
Well, the transition is definitely different. Being at JUCO, we didn't really have as many resources as we do here at a four-year school. Like, we didn't have the opportunity to come in when we don't have classes and put shots up and use the gun and all the other different kind of stuff that we have here. That's one of the biggest differences that JUCO and a four-year school has. But as far as like players go in the competition, I'm seeing a lot of familiar faces from JUCO because a lot of the guys are from around the city. So it's kind of cool to see guys that I versed in past years.
Nice. So, like, it's always a step up when you have better equipment here at the four-year colleges and be able to utilize that so you can improve on your game.
Right, yeah, exactly.
That's good. Now, at your time at Suffolk last year, you know, you started 17 games, and now coming over here, you're coming off the bench as a sixth man. What are some things you have done to be able to come off the bench fresh every game?
Well, I'm just bringing what I brought at Suffolk, energy off of the bench. I mean, it's really not that big of a deal. I'm kind of playing the same amount of minutes. So I don't let the six-man title really get to me, and I gear up, I tie my shoes up, and I play basketball whether I'm starting or I'm sitting on the bench. It's all the same to me.
Now, that's great, man. You know, anytime the coach calls your number, you're always ready out there to get playing for the team.
All right, yeah.
You know, currently you're averaging 11 points and 6 rebounds. You know, what are some things that you've been working on this season to improve on your game?
Consistency. About being consistent and making sure I bring the same thing to the table every night.
That's good, man. Consistency always helps you in the end. So now, early on in the ongoing, you know, I've been impressed with your scoring ability, you know, specifically the way you create space on the floor. What are some things that you've done to be able to create space on the floor and get your shot up every time?
Well, I don't know. My go-to move my whole life has really been the step back and the turnaround jumper. I'm usually taller and longer than most guys, so it kind of helps when I take that one step back, and it gives me a foot or two separation between the guys. So I usually go to that and use it as my advantage.
There you go. There you have it. The step back is his shot. Thank you today, Andre. This is Andre Harris, forward for the Baruch Bearcats.
For the love of the game, but for those of us who are Division III student athletes, it's more than that, a lot more.
Sure, the game is important, but as we work so hard to build both mind and body, it's more about team.
That is why NCAA Division III teamed up with Special Olympics, and in giving the gift of sport to those for whom it seemed an impossible dream, we are working to make this a better world.
Help us keep that dream alive.
You can make a difference.
It starts right when you hit the court. You imagine your finest moment. The game-winning shot that gets you to the dance, a monster dunk or no-look pass, and cutting down the net. Sports lets us dream of our own success and prepare us for our finest moments on and off the court.
No one ever won a race because it was their turn. And guzzling the right sports drink never won all 3 sets. You can't talk your way through a tournament, and luck doesn't last. Real champions know that it takes more to do more, because wanting it just isn't good enough. You've got to be smarter, faster, tougher. After all, if championships were easy, everybody would have one. City University of New York Athletic Conference. Learn, play, succeed.
And welcome back to the Arc Arena on the campus of Baruch College here in the heart of Manhattan. We have a nice, thrilling matchup. First game of the doubleheader between the ladies of this exact same game, John Jay at Baruch. Baruch winning 42-32. And Jamal, we have a nice making of a nice second game here with Baruch leading 32-26. 4 minutes until the second half starts.
Definitely throughout this game, it's been very good for both teams. Starting off in the early going, you had both teams neck and neck, with the Bearcats pulling away kind of halfway through the first half and holding on to this lead. You know, right now they enjoy a comfortable 6-point halftime lead, but no lead is kept, no lead is safe with 20 minutes left in the game.
And the game has been at a quick pace so far. You know,
Right.
A lot of short possessions, a lot of quick scoring, and the ball's been moving very fast, and there's been a good amount of transition as well. Baruch really able to execute off some of the turnovers, though. 12 turnovers for John Jay, only 5 for Baruch, but Baruch really getting 13 points off those turnovers. Big points and able to capitalize in transition.
Definitely, you want to capitalize on every turnover that you get that you can force the other team to give you. But also, most importantly, you want to take care of the ball. So the Bearcats have limited their turnovers throughout this game. And if they limit their turnovers throughout in the second half, they'll only give themselves more offensive possessions to be productive.
And with John Jay, they kind of got away from what they were doing early on, Jamal. You know, they looked at it for Anima Shaw, they looked for Doug Levy on a number of occasions. Granted, Levy's only 1 for 6, but Anima Shaw 2 for 3 and was really finding his way deep in the post. We've seen his minutes rolled back a little bit here midway through that half.
You definitely got to tip your hat to the Bearcats by being active on defense, moving their feet, rotating to the open man, closing out on defenders, and definitely fighting for those boards down low, because they've definitely been outsized in the early first half going against the Bloodhounds.
And one of the matchups I think we identified real early was Luciano Cruz Fernandez against William Sixsmith, specifically on the defensive end for the Bloodhounds. And Cruz Fernandez might have lost that battle, at least in the first half. Granted, Sixsmith has yet to score a basket. He has 2 points, yet to score a basket from the field. But Cruz Fernandez working on 3 fouls and a couple silly touch fouls against Sixsmith.
Yeah, you know, it's very hard to get some fouls for Cruz Fernandez. But with many other substitutions for the for the Bloodhounds, they've been able to circumvent that, which has been great. So I think Cruz Fernandez has done a number on William Sixsmith, because when he starts to get going for the Bearcats, that makes him even more deadly.
Yes, I mean, Sixsmith yet to get going, but like we said, Cruz Fernandez threw those 3 fouls, and granted, only 9 minutes of action, so biggest attribute is always availability, and he hasn't been too available so far for the Bloodhounds.
Right, he hasn't been available at all, but he's been spelling some good minutes with Jerome Petty and Eric Sandoval Jr., who both been able to give some offensive punch for the Bloodhounds here.
Petty going 2 of 4 from the field, 6 points in 12 minutes. We're about 55 seconds away from the second half, Jamal. If you're Baruch, what do you need to do at the beginning of this half to really, maybe extend this lead for the Bearcats?
If I'm Baruch, I'm going to definitely focus on taking care of the ball. As you see so far, 5 turnovers. They're limiting the turnovers, and that's giving them plenty of offensive possessions to be able to jump out to this 6-point lead. And definitely I want to find an answer and get in more rebounds on the defensive end. You know, currently they're being out-rebounded by 5 by the Bloodhounds. But if they could definitely force more turnovers and capitalize on open layups, they'd definitely be able to walk out of here victorious.
And I think it's crucial to get Ekabar going again early in the half. You did last half. He had 13 on 4 of 7 from the field, hit a 3, hit all 4 free throws. But if you can get Ekabar going early, then some of that other options like the Andre Harris, the Bryler Page, it all bounces off that, and he's able to really get going and maybe create some more one-on-one matchups rather than the defense collapsing on him.
And also, the Bearcats need to utilize their speed, as they've been going small against this tall, big lineup of the Bloodhounds. You know, early on, you've seen Andre Harris able to get some easy passes and get some layups, and that's all due to them keeping on cutting every single time on the offensive end.
So we're moments away from the start of the second half. Baruch and John Jay live at the Arc Arena on the campus of Baruch College. You're watching Baruch basketball on YouTube channel Baruch Bearcats, and it'll be Cruz Fernandez to inbound for John Jay on the far side. And Epps finally gives him that outlet, and it'll be John Jay's ball. Epps has it now, takes the picks from LaGuardia, going right. Trying to find number 33, Levy, but can't. Instead gives it out to LaGuardia. Now trying to find Levy on the block again, but he's unable to find position on Harris. Ball's inside to Animashaw, and that ball's tipped away, and Gibbs comes away with it. He quickly pushes into the front court, and he'll circle back and set up the offense.
Great defensive possession by the Bearcats on that one, causing the turnover. Let's see what they do on the offensive end here.
Definitely not the start Coach Highland wanted for his Bloodhounds. Kicks out to Gibbs. Gibbs into the corner, trying to find Andre Harris. That ball's tipped away, though. Epps comes away with it, gives it off to Cruz Fernandez. Nice left-handed layup, and able to beat the Baruch defense back down the floor.
Tough play right there with Gibbs trying to make the extra pass to Andre Harris, but just couldn't find the open man.
Now Gibbs gives it off. Gibbs gives it off to Ekekabar. Handoff back to Gibbs. He takes the pick left from Ekekabar, gives it up top to Harris. Handoff to Sixsmith. Sixsmith right into the lane, and one. Nice play there by William Sixsmith. The foul's going to go on number 13, Kyle LaGuardia.
If you can't get it going outside, the best way to start getting it going is go inside.
And a nice play there by Sixsmith. LaGuardia picking up his second foul. Not really, we don't see that often from Sixsmith, but yet he's capable of doing it. And Sixsmith knocks it down.
Definitely the Bearcats are a different team when William Sixsmith starts to get going. It's definitely vital for their offensive success.
And now Bryler Page gets picked there by Levy as LaGuardia brings it to the front court. It's going to be a corner three by Cruz Fernandez. Way short, barely hits rim, but Levy with his size able to corral the loose rebound and knock it off glass and in. Baruch lead 35-30, a minute and a half gone here in the second half.
Yeah, those rebounds for the Bearcats, they're definitely going to have to find position and try to fight for them. Currently, Chima was down there. They had 3 Bloodhounds over there. Couldn't do much about that.
Now Harris has it, looking for Ekekabar inside. Finds him on the post. LaGuardia covering him. Ekekabar almost loses it. Has to save from going out of bounds. Sixsmith is there for an outlet, though. Takes the pick from Harris. Back out to Harris. Wing 3, able to knock it down. Andre Harris getting pumped up there. And he extends the lead back to 8. 2 minutes gone here in the second half.
Bearcats so far coming out on the offensive end and been playing very well.
LaGuardia now gives it up to Epps. Over to Cruz Fernandez, back up top to Epps, back over to Cruz Fernandez. Trying to find Levy on the block, working on Harris. He can't though, he takes it into the lane, kicks it out to Epps, jab step, pull up 3. Too strong, off back rim, rebounds fought for. It's LaGuardia that comes away with it. And it goes off LaGuardia last after some pressure by Andre Harris. And a couple mental mistakes here in the early going for John Jay.
So far, 2 turnovers here in the early going for John Jay. But that's forced by the Bearcats being very active on the defensive end. Great play by Andre Harris applying the pressure.
Now Gibbs has it. Gives it off to Sixsmith. Hands it off to Ekekabar. Gives it back off to Gibbs. Hands it off to Ekekabar up top. Ekekabar drives and able to knock it down. Nice rising jumper by Ekekabar right in the lane. He extends the lead to 10.
Good defense turns into good offense right there for the Bearcats.
And some good D there by Baruch as Kyle LaGuardia gets triple teamed in the backcourt. Baruch have to get back now. Eshin Epps off glass and in, able to beat the Baruch defense back to the field.
Bearcats definitely try to get aggressive, but that aggressiveness came to bite them on that play as Eshin Epps was able to go all the way to the basket.
And Coach Highland not very happy with the way LaGuardia was dribbling on the 1-on-3. Wanted him to move the ball a little bit quicker. Anthony Gibbs has it now on the right wing. The foul is going to be on number 12, Cruz Fernandez, and that's going to be his 4th, and this might bring him to the bench for quite some time now. Jerome Petty quick off the bench to check into the game.
And you talked a little bit about that during the halftime break. Definitely has to worry, definitely have to be a concern with 4 fouls currently in this game.
And already 2 quick fouls in succession by John Jay. Ekekabar has it up top. Handoff to Sixsmith. Sixsmith drives. High floater. No good. Too strong. Nice tip out by Sixsmith, and Ekekabar comes away with it. He's working on Petty. Backs him down. Almost loses the ball as it rolls off his knee. Able to corral it back. Andre Harris now thinks about the pull-up. Instead, crossover move. Step back jumper. No good. Eshin Epps comes away with the rebound for the Bloodhounds, and he'll be able to quick the push as LaGuardia gets it now in the front court and back to Epps. Over to Petty, left wing. Inside to Animashawn, working on with a double team. Levy gives it over to Epps. Now Petty, left wing three, open three, no good. Animashawn and Gibbs fight for the rebound, and it's going to be Gibbs who comes away with it. Making sure he doesn't step out on that baseline. He's able to keep his feet in. Nice crossover move. Kicking it outside. Bryler Page, corner three, no good. Rebound is fought for, and Levy comes away with it. LaGuardia up to Epps, and Epps will quickly push it into the front court. And he'll slow it up with Gibbs on him. Now gives it off to Animashawn.
Bearcats
working on Ekabar, and Gibbs with the foul.
Gibbs definitely trying to poke his hand in there to steal that ball. Unfortunately, he was called for the foul there. But the Bearcats in those last two offensive possessions definitely staying aggressive, finding an open man. Unfortunately, it couldn't go down for them.
And now Levy to inbound. Now LaGuardia has it up top to Petty. Corner three there is by Eshin Epps, but he'll get fouled. Foul, I think, is going to be on number 3, William Sixsmith. Hit him on the side of the head. And that's going to be 3 shots at the line. Dangerous foul there, and a great chance for the Bloodhounds to cut the deficit to 5.
Definitely a great chance for the Bloodhounds to cut the deficit. But they have a 67% shooter in Epps step into the line. Let's see if he could convert on these 3.
He's off on the first. 21 of now 32 on the season. Off on the second, so nice foul there by Sixsmith. As Epps currently 0 of 2 from the line.
William Sixsmith just going to the bench, having a rough night tonight. 1 for 5 from the field, but also has 3 free throws.
And Epps able to knock down the third. 1 of 3 at the line, and a poor opportunity there for John Jay to get back into this game.
And if you're the Bearcats, you're happy with that possession.
And now Gibbs gives it off to Jack Sixsmith. Foul's going to be on off the ball underneath. The foul's going to be on number 13 with a push. It's going to be LaGuardia. Their third team foul. 15:21 remaining here in the game. And Sandoval quick to check into the game. 6'7" senior from Staten Island.
Team over there with the missed 3. Now you got Epps pushing into the front court for the Bloodhounds. He's looking to set up on the offensive end.
Epps has it now covered by Sixsmith. Gives it up top to Sandoval, covered by Ekabar. Bounce pass inside to Animashawn. Looking for options. He gets double teamed, almost throws it away though. Epps saves it with fingertips. And he could set up on Sixsmith. Crossover move, gets into the paint. Free throw line jumper is no good. Petty able to put back the rebound, and he gets fouled, and that'll send Jerome Petty to the line for 2 shots. The foul's on number 13, Dwayne Bridie.
Jerome Betty also a 67% free throw shooter here. See him step into the free throw line, see if he can knock down those 2. But the Bearcats need to find an answer on the defensive end for these rebounds. So far, the Bloodhounds have 10 offensive rebounds. The Bearcats are being out-rebounded by 9.
And Petty off on the first. And he knocks down the second. So John Jay, failing themselves at the free throw line, 2 of their last 5. Gibbs has it now with 14:40 remaining here in the game. Gives it off to Harris. Takes a back screen by Ekabar, does Gibbs, but Ekabar gets it on the curl out up top. Now Gibbs thinks about the 3. Instead drives, and he's fouled as he goes up with the shot. And there's been a lot of far side fouls called here in the last few minutes, and it'll send Gibbs to the line to shoot 2. Leading the team in free throw shooting this year at 82%.
Definitely somebody you don't want to foul and send to the free throw line. It's definitely been clutch for the Baruch Bearcats this year when it came to crunch time and hitting his free throws.
And he knocks it down. 41-34, Baruch lead, up by 7 with 14:30 remaining. And Eric Pujols comes in as Animashawn comes to the bench for John Jay.
Probably give him a little breather there.
Jerome and Eric. Jerome and EJ, you're out. Ian, Eric, you're up. There's a lot of E's.
And Gibbs off on the second, so only able to convert 1 of 2 and extend the Baruch lead to 7, 41-34. Epps has it now, covered by Gibbs. Gives it off to Pujols. He's covered by Jack Sixsmith inside to Sandoval. Sandoval looking for options. Backing down Ekabar, gives it off to Levy. Levy had position on Harris, but it goes off his leg, and it'll go back to Baruch.
Unforced error right there for the John Jay Bloodhounds. They now have 15 turnovers.
Now Gibbs has it in the front court. Gives it off to Dwayne Brighty. Handoff back to Gibbs. A little two-man game now to Ekabar. A lot of off-ball movement by Baruch, looking very good in the offensive end. Jack Sixsmith takes the pick from Harris into the lane. Out to Anthony Gibbs, now up top to Dwayne Brighty. 8 seconds left on the shot clock. Sixsmith to drive. Nice move by Jack Sixsmith. His first basket of the game.
Jack Sixsmith started off with the assist early and now is finding his offensive game here. Good layup right there for Sixsmith.
Crossover move by Pujols. Looking for Sandoval. Sandoval's looking for options. He wants to clear out, work on Ekabar. Posted him up outside the Pujols. Right wing three, able to knock it down. Nice move there between the two Erics. Sandoval to Pujols. And that's going to be a full timeout for Coach Highland and the John Jay Bloodhounds. So with 13:22 remaining, Baruch 43, John Jay 37. You're watching Baruch Basketball on YouTube channel, Baruch Athletic Fan.
Bearcats here right now in this second half. Definitely put in a lot of offensive production.
So Jamal, it's been a good half here. Baruch, really keeping up the same pace that they did in the first half. Ekabar has another 4 points to add to his game, but Andre Harris also adding to his game. Them two shooting a nice combined 10 of 17.
Definitely two of the leading scorers for the Bearcats this year. The Bearcats need to be in any game. They need scoring from those two players.
So I want to congratulate, not in attendance tonight, but the Baruch men's swimming team, winning the CUNYAC regular season title, beating Lehman tonight 126-87. I have to be honest, I'm not sure how swimming scoring works, but when you win by 39, that looks like a blowout to me.
Definitely.
So congratulations to the men's swimming team on their regular season title.
Looks like to me like a very dominant showing by the Bearcats.
So it'll be Baruch's ball underneath. Dwayne Brighty to inbound. Jack Sixsmith to walk the ball up. Now Anthony Gibbs hands off to Ekabar. Ekabar will drive, working on Levy. Instead, he'll pull it back out. Andre Harris. His ball's tipped away by Sandoval Jr. And now Brighty to inbound on the far side. Ekabar has it. Crossover move, gives it off to Sixsmith. Nice step back crossover there. Ekabar working on Levy. Step back jumper. Way short, hard to shoot over the 6'8" Levy. And that ball's tipped away by Jack Sixsmith. And Eshin Epps now quickly has the turnover for Baruch as Coach Highland thought Jack Sixsmith stepped out of bounds when he got that steal. And now Petty to inbound underneath to Levy. And John Jay able to finish there. Cuts the lead to 4. With Jerome Petty on the layup, his 9th point of the night. Now Villar inside, recently checked in. Nice left-handed move, can't finish over Levy. He's getting banged around underneath there. But Epps quickly into the front court for John Jay. Pujols calling for the ball in the corner. And it's going to go Eshin Epps last, as Baruch will get it back with 12:09 remaining. Baruch lead 43-39.
Jack Sixsmith doing it on the offensive end, now on the defensive end, poking that ball away. And getting the ball back for the Bearcats.
And Alan Villar quickly comes to the bench. That will be the two Sixsmith brothers, George Smith Jr., Andre Harris, and Dwayne Brighty right now for Baruch. Nice pull-up jumper there by Sixsmith, using the pick from Harris, able to knock it down and extend the lead to 6, 45-39 with 11:45 remaining.
Great way to turn, good defense, and take advantage of that turnover there for the Bearcats.
Now Petty has it, looking for Levy, finds the entry pass. He's working on George Smith Jr. Crossover move by Levy. Rebounded by Jack Sixsmith. And the ball's turned over there. Sloppy play by Baruch as Eshin Epps comes away with the steal.
Definitely shouldn't have picked up his dribble on that pass. He's trying to find Dwayne Brighty, but unfortunately couldn't.
Nice play there by George Smith Jr. to save from going out of bounds. Threw it off a John Jay player, and that's going to lead to transition. As Andre Harris picks up the loose ball after George Smith Jr. made a nice defensive play there from saving it to go out of bounds. 47-39, Baruch lead. Coming in on 11 minutes remaining here in the game.
The Bearcats are definitely hustling on every single play right now, and they're doing phenomenal on defense and on converting on offense.
Eshin Epps takes the screen now from Sandoval. Levy gets it up top, back to Epps. Epps been the primary ball handler tonight for the Bloodhounds. Back behind the back crossover, and his pass goes into the third row as it was intended for Jerome Petty.
Bearcats are definitely frustrating the Bloodhounds right now. They caused the 19th turnover for the Bloodhounds. Bearcats have been forcing turnovers, taking advantage of turnovers as well, with 21 points off turnovers and limiting turnovers for themselves with only 8 tonight.
And that's going to be a timeout for Coach Highland and his team. With 10:41 remaining, Baruch lead 47-39. You're watching Baruch basketball on YouTube channel, Baruch Athletic Fan. On YouTube channel, Baruch Bearcats. And Shemechiak Ekabar checking back into the game for Andre Harris as John Jay called the 30-second timeout, And Andre Harris has had a very nice game with 12 points on 5 of 8 shooting, but Ekabar leading the way for all scorers with 15.
Well-rounded game for Ekabar, who's have 1 3-pointer, showing 50% from the field right now.
John Jay went with a couple changes as well, with LaGuardia and Animashon checking back into the game. Now Ekabar running a little point here for the Baruch Bearcats. Handoff to Jack Sixsmith. He drives a little two-man game now into Ekabar, working on LaGuardia. Gives it off to George Smith Jr. Reverse layup, no good. Contested by Animashon for John Jay, and Eshin Epps will bring it into the front court. 10:20 remaining here in the game. LaGuardia has it now. Crossover move back out to Epps. William Sixsmith bumps into the pick by Animashon on the left side. Up top now to LaGuardia. Now it's Animashon working on the post on George Smith Jr. And the foul is going to be a block on number 22, George Smith Jr. The ball will stay underneath, as it is only the 4th team foul for the Bearcats.
Bearcats doing everything they can right now with a lot of the big men out there, with George Smith at 6'5" and Ekabar at 6'6", trying to withstand this Bloodhound height.
And now Animashon working on Ekabar, kicks it out to Eshin Epps, cross-court pass. And the foul is going to be off the ball underneath. The foul is going to be on number 22 again, Smith Jr., and that's going to stay with John Jay. Smith Jr. back-to-back fouls in 2 straight possessions. And just double-check and make sure the scoreboard reflects accurately the scorebook. It does. Inbound by Petty up top to Eshin Epps with 20 seconds remaining here on the shot clock. Sixsmith covering him. Animashon sets the pick right. Epps uses it. Now trying to get the ball back to Animashon. It's over to Levy. Ball's tipped away as the entry pass to Animashon is no good, and Ekabar read that easily. William Sixsmith now driving. Bounce pass out to Ekabar. Ekabar going to drive. He has the dunk opportunity and able to throw it down.
Great dunk by Timo, seeing the open lane and going in with the two-handed slam.
And Coach Highland wants some answers from these refs, as he thought there was some off-ball action. Eshin Epps, wild layup, No good, and there's a push there. It looks like by, who's that, Dwayne Bridey underneath, and as a senior veteran, he really can't be losing his cool right now. And it looks like him and Animashon, and it's going to be a double technical as Brylar Page quick to check into the game. Dwayne Bridey to the bench.
Got a discussion here by Coach Alisi and the ref.
He's trying to get the full understanding of what happened there, because it was a little bit of a huddle there between the two teams as they came together.
Right, and anytime techs are given to both teams, you definitely want to know what happened there.
And they have some time to talk it over as both teams are going to go back to their respective benches. The refs sort things out. So with 9:16 remaining, Baruch 49, John Jay 39. You're watching Baruch Basketball on YouTube channel, Baruch Bearcats. And we have some other games updated for you here around the conference. Lehman 9-4, 5-1 in the division, playing 5-0. Hunter 8-5 overall. They're in a 2-point game at Hunter College with 2:32 remaining. Lehman 62, Hunter 60. We have some big action here in some of the other games around the conference, waiting for some of the final scores to roll in. So with 9:16 left, Jamal, it's a pivotal point in the game. Either Baruch can really extend this lead or, John Jay will slowly chip back at it.
Definitely for the Bearcats, this is a great opportunity, being up by 10. Being up by 10 for the Bearcats right now.
And 49-39, and no timeout officially. It's just a bunch of communication errors, it sounds like. And we're still trying to figure out what's precisely going on. And as soon as we have some of the other scores for you, we'll try to get them over to you from some of the other games around the conference. And they're just discussing if it's going to be a team foul on top of it being a So with 9:16 remaining, it's going to be George Smith Jr., Brylar Page, 2-6 Smith Brothers, and Ek Echobar. Sorry for the delayed response. We're trying to figure it out as well. As we're a little bit down from the refs table, just trying to figure out what's going on. 9:16 remaining.
Definitely want to give you guys all the right information. Keep this game flowing.
And the double technical is going to be on Animashon and Dwayne Bridey, excuse me. Now Animashon has it as Bridey has come to the bench. Animashon has stayed into the game. Eshin Epps quickly swung around up top. And Chima has to relax, jumping up and down right in front of the ref.
Definitely doesn't want another tech for his team right now, especially being up by 10.
York currently leading Brooklyn College 83-77 on the campus of Brooklyn College. So a big game there. And Animashon has to get the shot off for John Jay, though, as we're back here. No good as the shot clock was winding down. A nice move there by Sixsmith. Kicks it out to William Sixsmith. His first open look of the game. No good. Jack, though, in there to fight for the rebound. And George Smith Jr. comes away with it. And Baruch get a fresh 30 with 8:40 remaining here in the game.
Teams always appreciate hustle, and George Smith showing his hustle right there.
Hand off to William Sixsmith by Ek Echobar. Gives it off to George Smith Jr. in the corner. Jack Sixsmith not really shooting tonight. William Sixsmith will release on another three, though, getting a little space there from Epps. but no good, and the rebounded by LaGuardia, and Eshin Epps will bring it into the front court.
William Sixsmith just haven't been able to find his shot tonight.
Eshin Epps has it up top. Into the corner to Petty. Gives it over to LaGuardia, working on Sixsmith. Crossover move into the lane. Nice floater, able to knock it down. Cut the lead to 8 with 8 minutes remaining. We can see ourselves another nice finish here at the Arc Arena.
LaGuardia definitely skying for that layup.
And we've talked about it recently. Baruch really playing some close-knit games, their last few outside of this Lehman blowout.
Definitely. That's how they've been able to play all this season.
Ekbar working on LaGuardia underneath. Blocking foul is going to be on number 13, Kyle LaGuardia. And he'll send Ekbar to the line for a 1-and-1.
Definitely talking about those close games that they had the past couple games here at the Arc Arena. They definitely been on the other end of the game they're on tonight, fighting their way back. But right now they enjoy a comfortable lead.
Oh, actually, it's going to be an inbound underneath for Baruch because they're one foul away from the bonus. But John Alisi wants a timeout for the Bearcats. So with 7:37 remaining, Baruch 49, John Jay 41. You're watching Baruch Basketball YouTube channel, Baruch Bearcats. And we're getting some of the scores in now. It's an 84-77 game for York College over Brooklyn right now. 85-77. That's with 5.5 seconds left. Lehman currently leads Hunter with 40 seconds left, 66-65. And once we're able to get you the score for the Medgar Evers City College game, we'll update you with that one as well. All coming down to the wire here in the CUNYAC.
Definitely a lot of conference play going on with 8 teams playing in the conference right now. These games are pivotal.
And you can see how close it is in the standings. Hunter, granted, playing against Lehman in a tight-knit battle. Collegetown's up there, but everyone else, Baruch, Brooklyn, York, all right in there. And even John Jay and Medgar Evers not too far behind. And Anthony Gibbs now will inbound underneath for Baruch on the offensive end. 20 seconds remaining on the shot clock. Inbound to Sixsmith. Corner 3 right off the inbounds. No good. And Anima Sean Skies for the board. Gibbs runs into a pick by Anima Sean. Now Eshin Epps has it in the front court. 49-41. Epps has it now. Gives it off to Sandoval, who just checked back into the game. Now Cruz Fernandez throws it away right into the ref's face, actually.
Almost stopped, but it just kind of grazed him. Kind of holding his face.
Cruz Fernandez and LaGuardia both playing with 4 fouls right now. Inbound to Sandoval. Dangerous pass, almost intercepted. Gives it off to Epps, though, who's driving into the lane. And that's going to be a travel. Too many steps right before he bumped into Bryler Page as Page hits the deck. 7:14 remaining. Baruch lead by 8.
Another play there from Bryler Page, giving up his body, causing the offensive player to turn over the ball. Right now, the Bearcats have forced 21 turnovers, but limiting themselves to only 8.
And now Gibbs will walk it across the timeline. Hand off to Harris. Now gives it back to Gibbs. Up top to Ekbar. He drives. Crossover move. Working on Anima Sean. Now he goes right to the lane. He's blocked from behind as he goes right to the rim. And now Epps comes away with it. The foul's going to be on number 4. Anthony Gibbs. His 3rd foul tonight.
Anima Sean and Ekbar has definitely been battling both on the offensive end and on the defensive end.
That'll be Epps at the line. Eshin Epps, 67% free throw shooter this year. 1 of 3 from the line. And he knocks down the first of a 1-and-1. Big free throw there by Epps to cut the lead to 7 after John Jay really struggled at the free throw line earlier in this game. Checking into the game now, Otis Gose, excuse me. Reset the shot clock as he knocks down the second, cuts the lead to 6. Dangerous play there as William Sixsmith pass almost thrown away. And it's going to go back to John Jay. Sloppy play there by Baruch on the inbounds. The throw inbound to Sixsmith, and it just all went awry from there as Bryler Page tried to save from going out of bounds. And it'll go back to John Jay. Now an opportunity for John Jay Let's cut it to a 4-point lead.
Definitely a tough possession right there. It's a costly turnover that you didn't need at this point of the game.
Cruz Fernandez now gets it in the corner, up top to Petty. Straightaway three as Bryler Page closes him out, but he's able to knock it down. He said, I'll do you one better, Dave. I'm going to cut it to a 3-point game. And that got the John Jay team right off their feet.
Definitely with the bang shot right there by Petty. The Bearcats definitely need to score on this play right here and slow down this John Jay Bloodhounds run.
And now Ekabar has it. He's covered by Gosse. Gives it over to Gibbs. Gibbs drives. Kicks it out to Andre Harris, working on Sandoval. Left-handed floater, no good. Rebounded by Ekabar. He's able to put it back up. No good as well, and it'll go back to Gibbs. Kick ball is going to be on number 10, Jerome Petty, and Baruch will stay with it right in front of their own bench.
Bearcats right now need to find Ekabar. Zanima Sean is on the bench. Definitely could take advantage of that matchup.
Dangerous play, though, by the Baruch. Andre Harris forced into like an underhand scoop 3-point shot almost. Unable to hit, but luckily enough, Baruch there with Chimak Ekabar able to keep the play alive. Ekabar has it now, working on Gosse. He drives. Ekabar's floater is good. He's looking for a foul as well. And it's going to be a timeout for Baruch with 5:50 remaining. Baruch holding on to a 5-point lead, but John Jay slowly crawling their way back. You're watching Baruch Basketball on YouTube channel, Baruch Bearcats.
Definitely, as soon as that three went down for Petty, the Bloodhounds definitely came out with a very intense defense. But with Ekabar, with Zanima on the bench, they found Ekabar, and he was able to take advantage of the matchup against Goss and go straight into the lane.
So Andre Harris, 9 first-half points, only 3 in the second half. Something's been off about his game. He just hasn't been able to find the space he needs to put the ball in the basket.
Yeah, and he just hasn't had the attempts that is to shoot the ball, you know. So far in this second half, maybe only shot up the ball maybe once or twice. So it's definitely have to find him on the offensive end, you know. Early on, he was able to get some easy layups, but the Bloodhounds so far have stopped that, and he hasn't been able to get back inside into that paint.
And Ekabar, 7 of 13, but for 19 points, but we might be relying on him going down the stretch here with Baruch.
And especially in this moment right here, as much time as you have Zanima Sean on the bench, I would say you find Ekabar and have him take advantage of the 6'5" Goss.
And John Jay comes out with Sandoval, Cruz, Fernandez, Petty, Goss, and Epps, while Baruch is going to go with Gibbs, Page, Harris, Williams, Sixsmith, and Chimak Ekabar. Pretty much their starting 5 against a couple of John Jay starters as well as some of their bench here. Cruz Fernandez working on Sixsmith. Cruz Fernandez also has 4 fouls. Goss now picks up his dribble. And it's going to go back to John Jay. They're going to say Andre Harris's foot was out of bounds as he was fighting for the loose ball.
I think the Bearcats need to try to force this ball into Otis Goss' hand, because right now it's looking a little shaky out there.
Now inbound there to Goss. Epps has it. Gibbs working on him. Surprising to see Goss here at the 3-point line, but Sandoval now redirecting traffic. 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Goss inside over Bryler Page. Good defense there by the 6'3" junior.
But right there, they caught Andre Harris napping on defense right there with Goss able to get the entry pass. Lucky thing he missed it.
Gibbs working on Epps. Handoff to Ekabar. Ekabar back out to Gibbs in the corner. Bryler Page, 3. No good, a little strong. Jerome Petty comes away with the rebound. 5 minutes remaining here in the game. Baruch lead by 5.
Good offense by the Bearcats. Unfortunately, they couldn't convert on that 3-pointer there.
Epps has it now, gives it up top to Cruz Fernandez. Pick from Sandoval. The ball's tipped away, though. He gets it back. Cruz Fernandez gives it off to Epps. Epps drives, pull-up jumper. High arcing jumper is good. Nice shot there by Eshin Epps. That gives him 11 points tonight.
And it cuts the lead down to the Bearcats, only 3 points.
Ill-advised shot, I thought, there by Epps, but he was able to get the high arcing jumper to go in. As Petty comes away with the loose ball and the steal. Sloppy play there by Baruch in the offensive end, and that's going to be another turnover. Baruch's 11th of the game.
And that's a costly foul as The Bloodhounds will be stepping into the free throw line for the 1-and-1.
And that's also Anthony Gibbs' fourth foul of the game.
You have an interesting substitution with Jack Sixsmith checking in for Anthony Gibbs.
And Jack Sixsmith had a nice game as facilitator so far. But we'll see if that having Anthony Gibbs off the court with some of his tenacity on the defensive end will affect Baruch going forward. Petty at the line to shoot a 1-and-1.
He's definitely a crucial player for the Bearcats down the stretch.
Petty knocks it down, leading all Bloodhounds in scoring with 13 so far. Nima Sean and LaGuardia have both checked back in. LaGuardia also with 4 fouls, so he has to be careful not to foul out. He's been good with some of his length and reach playing the 3 spot.
And he's definitely did a number on William Sixsmith tonight. Only limited him to 7 points and shooting 2 for 9 from the field. And no 3-pointers.
And a 1-point game now with 4:15 remaining here at the Arc Arena. Andre Harris now has it for Baruch, gives it off to Bryler Page, and now Jack Sixsmith has it. A lot of players picking up their dribble very fast. Definitely hurting them on the offensive end as Ek Ekabar kicks it out to Bryler Page. Bounce pass into Ek Ekabar. Loose ball is picked up by Sixsmith. Only 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Ek Ekabar corner 3. Gets Anima Sean out there. Pull-up jumper now. No good. Rebounded there by Anima Sean. Loose ball 4-4 between him and Harris, but Anima Sean comes down, rips it away.
Anima Sean just getting a little breather, and now he's back into the game. Now he's looking for the ball.
Eshin Epps looking for Sandoval. Tipped away from him by Bryler Page from behind. And Baruch's going to run with numbers. Bryler Page lays it in as he hits the deck. Nice play there by Page.
Good play by Page on that one, going all the way coast to coast for the layup for the Bearcats.
And it's going to be a timeout, full timeout for John Jay. 3:22 remaining. Baruch have extended their lead back to 3. It's going to be a great finish here at the Arc Arena. You're watching Baruch Basketball on YouTube channel, Baruch Bearcats. And Jamal, we're going to have a great finish here. It's going to be an interesting game, and definitely look out for Jerome Petty, who's had a quietly really strong game.
Tell me about it, Dave. 14 points, 3 rebounds, and 3-pointers off the bench. Definitely giving the Bloodhounds that offensive punch they need off the bench tonight.
So we got some final scores now rolling in for you. It looks like Lehman have beaten Hunter and given Hunter their first conference loss of the season, 72-67. And for Brooklyn College, your final there, 85 for York, 77 for Brooklyn College. So that moves York up to 500, now putting themselves past Baruch. So this win for Baruch tonight becoming even bigger with the fact that they just found out that, we found out that York College is taking the lead.
Definitely, that's going to bring them. If they win this game tonight, it's definitely going to take. It's definitely for the Bearcats. Going to make them tied for 4th place with York.
So now that puts Brooklyn and York at 3-3, and if Baruch can win this game, they'll be tied as well at 3-3. Lehman drops Hunter to 5-1, and that puts a 3-way tie at the top of the conference at 5-1 for everybody right now. Still waiting on the Medgar Evers and City College scores to trickle in. Sandoval to inbound right in front of us here. Gives it into Epps. Right back to Sandoval, and the defense there by Ekabar strong. A nice move there. Spin move by Sandoval. He's able to get the basket to drop. 53-52. Baruch lead with 3:10 remaining here in the game. William Sixsmith has it up top.
Bearcats definitely need to get a good offensive possession here.
Ekabar has it for Baruch. Handoff to Sixsmith. Sixsmith drives, gives it off to his brother Jack. Bryler Page, nice move into the lane. High floater, no good. He's fouled. And that'll send Bryler Page to the line to shoot 2. Fouls on number 24, Hakeem Animashawn.
Bryler Page definitely in his last 2 possessions have been aggressive, going all the way to the rim. Last play he was able to convert for 2. Now he steps to the line, see if he can get these 2 free throw shots.
That's Animashawn's 3rd personal foul. Bryler Page knocks down the first.
Definitely these are crucial moments. It's going to tell a lot about this Baruch team.
Extends the lead to 2. 2:54 remaining here in the game. A win Baruch needs badly to stay in the pack, as we found out York College and Lehman both winning tonight. And Baruch lead by 3, 2:54 remaining. Epps has it now, covered by Jack Sixsmith.
Definitely, you were saying a minute ago, they definitely have to win this game. You don't want to have to fall behind in your conference when you're thinking about making the playoffs at the end of the season.
So it's the two Sixsmith brothers, Bryler Page and Andre Harris and Agekabar on the court for Baruch. Sandoval has it now, gives it off to Cruz Fernandez, Epps up top for John Jay. Bounce pass into Sandoval, nice pass there to Petty, cutting inside. And Andre Harris just a step slow to find the cutting Petty.
Petty has been doing damage for the Bloodhounds tonight with 16 points and 3 rebounds.
Now Agekabar has it, gives it off to Bryler Page. Pick left from Agekabar, Page uses it, trying to give it back into Agekabar. Kick ball there is by number 10, Jerome Petty. He'll stay with Baruch, who lead by 1 with 2:08 remaining here in the game.
This is crunch time for the Bearcats, and if the Bearcats pull out this win tonight, it'll definitely be a solid win for them, but it's definitely going to be a booster for them.
Inbound now to Bryler Page. Pick left from Agekabar, Page into the lane. Kicks it outside to Sixsmith, outside to William Sixsmith. Quickly swung around, able to knock it down. William Sixsmith, a corner 3. And that was his first 3 of the night, 1 of 7, but that puts him into double figures. And you know he wanted that one badly. 10 points for Sixsmith, and Coach Highland wants a timeout for John Jay. It's going to be a full timeout with 1:55 left. Baruch 58, John Jay 54. You're watching Baruch Basketball YouTube channel, Baruch Bearcats, and Jamal, a big shot there by William Sixsmith, not just for the score, but also for his own psyche as he's trying to get into the flow of things here late in the game.
Right. It's like that we say, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. And right now, Sixsmith getting hot for the Bearcats, if he can, will be definitely beneficial. He's been trying to put up that three-point shot all night, but it's great in the time that they really need it. It goes down for him.
So Baruch leading by 4 in what's been a crazy game here in the second half. Baruch came into the half, leading 32-26. Now they're getting outscored in the second half, 28-26. So could be a wild finish here at the Arc Arena. The 1:55 left.
It's definitely looking like that as for the Bloodhounds right now. Petty has definitely been doing a number on the Bearcats. 16 points, 5 for 8 from the field and 3 rebounds. But also Eshawn Epps, 11 points, 6 assists with 6 rebounds following him.
I liked Epps' game. The only thing is a lot of turnovers, 6 turnovers, and he's only 4 of 11 from the field tonight. So not the best shooting night from Eshawn Epps.
And definitely for the Bearcats, it's very important you close out this game, because if you force this team to have 22 turnovers, you would definitely look at that as a great winning formula.
Sandoval inbounds to Levy, who just checked back into the game. Sandoval into the front court, almost loses the ball there. He's covered by Harris. Bounce pass out to Epps, dangerous there as Gibbs is on him, working on with 4 fouls. Pick from Anima Sean Wright, now Sandoval has it. Andre Harris, crossover move. Inside, Cruz Fernandez gets the loose ball though, puts up a jumper, no good, rebounded by Agekabar. And the foul is going to be at number 22, Eric Sandoval Jr. It'll send Agekabar to the line.
And that play right there showing you who wants it more, as we saw Agekabar sky for that rebound right there. And now his opportunity to step in there for the free throws.
Only his 5th rebound of the game. It'll bring him to the line for a 1-on-1 opportunity. And some big free throws here by Agekabar. Chance to extend the lead by 6 with 1:30 remaining here. Able to knock it down.
And these are the crucial moments that'll be the telltale of your team. Can you guys close out the game? That's been a struggle for the Bearcats this year. If they could close this one out, it'll be definitely a very big win for them tonight.
Agekabar at the line for the second. And he knocks down the second, extending the Baruch lead to 6. 1:32 remaining here at the Arc Arena. Eshawn Epps quickly double-teamed in the backcourt and gives it up to Levy over across to LaGuardia, and he brings it across the timeline. Well, he's looking to give it back to Epps, who's been the primary ball handler for the Bloodhounds tonight. Trying to find LaGuardia back door. That pass is intercepted by Sixsmith. And a big possession here for Baruch to run some clock.
Definitely. All they got to do is slow down. Wow. Interesting play right there. Why would you foul him right there in that moment?
And I don't think Anthony Gibbs is the guy you want to foul. Granted, he's only 1 of 2 tonight from the free throw line, but shooting over 80% from the line on the season.
And definitely in crucial moments when the Bearcats needed him to shoot free throws and make him, he's definitely come up clutch for them.
Cruz Fernandez checking back into the game for John Jay as Anima Sean comes to the bench.
Lucci, tell him.
And Gibbs knocks down the first. Clutch free throw there by Anthony Gibbs. And the second one a chance to extend the lead to 8 with 1:10 left.
Bearcats are playing like they want this game more than the Bloodhounds, and they're definitely showing by knocking down these free throws.
And he knocks down the second. Nice play there by Gibbs. And the foul there on Bryler Page as he fouls Kyle LaGuardia, and that'll send them to the line for a 1-on-1, and a key play there because they're able to get some points here and knock away at this Baruch lead without taking any time off the clock. 2 seconds coming off between the 2 free throw shooters.
If there's somebody you want to put at the free throw line, it's LaGuardia, who's shooting 50% this year from free throw.
And he knocks down the first. The thing that free throw percentage doesn't tell us, what's his clutch free throw shooting percentage, because he's knocking down the first one here.
So, you know, in the day and age of stats, they may have a stat line for that somewhere.
And Goss back into the game. And so is Jerome Petty as Levy and Sandoval come to the bench. And Sandoval no good on this, LaGuardia no good on the second as Agekabar comes down with the rebound. Now Page into the front court.
Bearcats right now should just be trying to work this ball around and milk as much clock as they can.
And Gibbs gets it now up top from the handoff from Harris. Nice find there. Bryler Page underneath. 64-55, and that might have been the nail in the coffin there as it's a 9-point game with 48 seconds left, and this will be a big win if Baruch can hold on here at the end. As we've said before, York already winning tonight, Lehman already winning tonight. A big scramble here in the middle of the pack for the CUNYAC Conference.
Definitely a big scramble for the CUNYAC Conference. But let's go back to that play for the Bearcats. Great way to draw out the defenders from the Bloodhounds and find a wide open Bryler Page for that layup. It's definitely plays you want right now in this crucial moment because with a 9-point lead, only 48 seconds left in this game. What more can you ask for?
And interesting that Coach Highland wanted to foul the possession before. When this possession they were clearly trying to trap. I just don't understand why even foul the previous possession if you weren't planning on fouling to close out to extend the rest of the game.
Yeah, that didn't make sense right there. Maybe a mental error by Epps. Maybe it's what the coach asked for. But definitely it worked in the Bearcats' favor as they find themselves up by 9 and a great opportunity here to walk out victorious.
So the 9-point game, 48 seconds left. You're watching Baruch Basketball YouTube channel, Baruch Bearcats. Before this game at 5:30, the women played against the John Jay Bloodhounds. Women were able to defeat the Bloodhounds at 42-32 for the Bearcats, and a big win to move them back at the 500 in the conference and throw them back in the thick of things.
Definitely a great win for the women Bearcats, and it could be walk away with the clean sweep tonight.
9-point lead, 48 seconds left. Ekekabar, William Sixsmith, Andre Harris, Bryler Page, Anthony Gibbs for Baruch, Cruz Fernandez, Anima Sean, Petty, Levy, and Epps for John Jay. Epps right into the paint, kicks out to Petty, 3-ball, no good. Anima Sean battles for the rebound. It's Bryler Page who comes away with it, gives it up to Andre Harris, and he fouls him. And I think Andre Harris got fouled there, and he gets fouled hard. And it looks like Petty and Bryler Page talking some stuff over, and that's going to be a technical on Petty, and he well deserved that one, running his mouth.
It's a little scuffle right there. Good play by Ekekabar calming down the players, but on that play right there, we had Andre Harris being fouled. But good way by Bryler Page right there. You know, emotions running high, but sometimes, you know, you see your player standing out there, you definitely want to stand in there and defend them and let them know we're not going to stand for that.
And that's always the most dangerous play in basketball, when the guy leaves his feet and you're coming in from behind because he can't control his body once he's in the air. Andre Harris hitting the padding hard, and he stayed down for a second. He's up now. And most importantly, that Bryler Page didn't get a technical there because that could have been a very interesting situation. With Baruch now shooting this tee, they have a great chance. I mean, this could really close out the game here. And that also sends Jerome Petty to the line.
You know,
Excuse me, to the bench. My apologies.
You know, definitely when you're a veteran, you know how to step in there and defend your play, but then you know once the ref are coming over, you just back off.
And now Sixsmith at the line for the technicals.
He prodded Petty, and Petty fell for the bait.
So this is going to be 2 technical free throws, and then Andre Harris himself is going to go to the line to also shoot 2. And I believe Baruch will have I could be wrong, but Baruch should be having the ball back after this.
And not even that. It look like they're putting this win away right now. And what a costly, timely error for the Bloodhounds with that technical.
What was the tech for? We just love giving us tech. We've gotten 2 all year, both you.
And Andre Harris knocked down the first free throw, extending the lead to 11.
Fifth, regular.
And he knocks down the second. And it's going to be Baruch's ball. It will be Baruch's ball underneath. So this should about do it. 13-point lead for the Bearcats. 35 seconds remaining here in the ball game. Gibbs to inbound. Up top to Ekekabar. And Ekekabar could just wind down the clock. 28 seconds left on the game, on the shot clock. 30 seconds left on the game clock. The foul's now going to be on number 23, Otis Goss, excuse me. And that's going to send Ekekabar to the line to shoot 2 with 26.7 seconds left. So, Jamal, a great win here tonight for Baruch. Really putting themselves back in the thick of things here in the CUNYAC, and especially, most importantly, stopping that 3-game losing slide.
Definitely stopping that 3-game losing slide, but mostly important, showing the rest of the league and just proving to themselves that they can close out games here in the late going here.
As Ekekabar misses the first.
We talked a lot about the Bloodhound side early on in the game, but the Bearcat speed has definitely been beneficial for them here.
So 4 players now in double figures for the Bearcats, with Bryler Page now having 11 points in this one. George Smith Jr. to check in for Baruch. And Bryler Page will come to the bench as Baruch look to get a little taller.
Lucci middle. Hold his out. Help him. Middle.
Inbound for John Jay. Epps and Baruch still come with the full court press, not relenting on this one. 2 Sixsmith brothers. Ball gets into the front court. Aiken has it now, and he's fouled. The foul's going to be on number 22, George Smith Jr. That's going to be his 4th. And that'll send Aiken to the line to shoot 2 as as both teams are in the bonus. Aiken off on the first. Eric Pujols checking into the game for John Jay. Eshin Epps comes to the bench. And he knocks down the second. Bryler Page back in for George Smith Jr.
Bloodhounds just look like they're going to apply pressure here. This game is pretty much out of reach.
No reason to foul if you're John Jay, because it's a 13-point game, and Baruch will just run it out. So this will do it for the John Jay Bloodhounds as Baruch come home and able to take a big win, 69-56 at the Arc Arena. And Jamal, granted, a couple of the players on John Jay really got going, namely Jerome Petty off the bench with 16, but Baruch's firepower tonight just too much.
And it was the leading scorers for the team, with Ekekabar with 22 points and 6 rebounds, Andre Harris with 14 points and 1 assist, and William Sixsmith, although he didn't have a great shooting night from the field, 12 points, 3 assists and 4 rebounds, and Bryler Page with 11 points and 4 rebounds and 2 steals.
So, yeah, Ekekabar reestablished himself, obviously as the dominant scorer, but definitely getting the help tonight. A combined 37 points from Page, Sixsmith, and Harris.
Definitely, that's what you like to see, and that's what right around the averages for the year, So that's what you expect from the team every year. So along with their expectations of what they're going to score, You also have Dwayne Brady with 5 points, Anthony Gibbs with 3 points, and Jack Sixsmith coming off the bench and making his presence be felt with 2 points, 4 assists, and 3 rebounds.
Yeah, and also limiting the turnovers. Baruch only 10 turnovers tonight compared to John Jay 23. And I think that's been key for Baruch. You know, we've seen the last few games sloppy ball handling and ball security, yet tonight really able to hold on to the ball, only 10 turnovers.
Tell me about it. That's only 5 in the first half, 5 in the second half, but all the ways causing a lot of havoc on the defensive end. 23 turnovers and getting 27 points off of them. So that's definitely helped them tonight.
And a big thing for Baruch also this evening, going to the line, getting to the line, creating the fouls, but also when getting to the line, hitting those free throws, shooting 90% from the line tonight.
Hey, you know, those are the little things that help you in this game. You know, that we talk about the 2 techs. Prior to the 2 techs, it was a 9-point game, and that definitely extended the lead for the Bearcats. But if you're going to be successful in any game, when you're giving free shots, best way to do that is make them, and you could benefit from it. But for the Bearcats tonight, what a great win. And to move back to 3-3 in the CUNYAC Conference, this only gives them confidence going throughout the rest of the league as they have a lot of conference games coming up.
Yeah, you beat John Jay, and it goes right at Brooklyn. Doubleheader again for the women and men on Saturday, the 13th, a big game against Brooklyn College, who you're now tied with in the conference.
Definitely, you want to come out with the same tenacity you had in tonight's game, but also follow the same game plan by limiting turnovers, causing havoc on the defensive end, and just converting when you get those offensive possessions.
And a key stretch here, Jamal. You're talking about at Brooklyn College. 4 days later, you're at Hunter, who, granted, lost to Lehman, has been a very strong opponent this year, at York, and then at College of Staten Island, all in the span of 11 days until you come back home for City College on the 26th. How important are these next 4 games?
These next 4 games are very important because the Bearcats, they're going to go on a 4-game road trip, and in order to be battle-tested and battle-proven, you're going to have to win out on the road. You know you're going to have a solid game here at the Arc Arena. You're going to have the crowd behind you. But it's always when you go out on that road and everybody's against you, you definitely want to see what you're made of then.
And it's big because if you could take, majority of those 4 road games, you come back with a 6-game home stretch, which could be huge here. Talking about City College, Lehman, we're going to have the CUNYAC and the CSAC Challenge. It's a conference in Jersey. We're going to figure out who our opponents to be named later. Then Brooklyn College, Hunter, and then Medgar Evers before you close the season out at John Jay. So big games left. I would say, this road trip can be their season because, you go 1-3 or 0-4 on this road trip and you've fallen right out of the thick of things.
Definitely, and you don't want to go ahead and lose 4 games straight and then just rely on these 6 games because it makes them even more crucial. So while you have this homestand, this road trip that you have here for the next 4 games, it's vital that the Bearcats come away with a solid record, going 3-1 or even winning all 4 games. If they come back with a draw, they can come back home and definitely be in position to win a lot of games.
All right, so this is about to do it for us. So Baruch sweeping the doubleheader. The ladies' team beats the Bloodhounds 42-32, and then the men's team wins 69-56. This broadcast has been in conjunction with the athletic department here at Baruch and Baruch College as a whole. For Jamal Chapman, I'm Dave Just. Have a great night, everybody.
Good night, New York.